What if I told you that you can practice your visualization skills so that you can understand better where you need to position the boat to really nail your approaches? Imagine you've got a man overboard. How nice it would be if you could have zoomed out to an eagle-eye drone view so that you can see your entire playground, where the man overboard is, where you are, where the wind is. How easy it would be for you to draw a line towards him. In this series, I'm going to break down sailing, fitting it to you in small components, whether it's the theory or the practical, controlling your mind or controlling your crew. Whatever level you are, there's always something new to learn. So welcome to Breaking Down Sailing with Orantich. In this video, we're going to talk about understanding angles, trajectory and momentum, and visualization. Chapter 1, Understanding Angles. Everything starts with angles. Angles to the wind, angles to the man overboard, or angles to the dock. And I found that some of my students are struggling with their progression because they don't understand angles very much correctly. So a good drill that I like to do is called the angle game. It's a good exercise to practice your understanding of angles, but it's also a great exercise for practicing steering and counter steering. So we leave the marina and I teach the students how to keep course. And then once we're out, I point to a peak of a mountain, to a weird shaped building, to a cove, and I ask the students, what is your estimation of the turning angle that we need to do in order to stop exactly on that point that I just pointed? And they give their estimation, and later I check it with the compass to see if they were correct. I also ask them to turn really fast and stop exactly on the point. That way we can practice their steering and their counter steering. And we go back and forth between everyone. Everyone has their estimations. I correct them. I usually point to have angles of 30, 40, 60, 90, 120, and then a 170 to really go over the points of sail and the important angle for docking. Once everybody has their grip on the angles, we move on. Chapter 2, Trajectory and Momentum. What is trajectory? I like to think of trajectory as, if I keep this current setting of where the rudder is and my speed, where am I going to end up? Now you see, this is the basic step for visualization, to see where your boat is going to end up if you continue doing what you're doing right now. Is it going to end up in a good place? Great. Is it going to end up in a bad place? Not so great. Let me fix and see again my new trajectory and where I'm going to end up. And momentum, I like to think of it as, if I don't add more power to my boat, for instance, I put the engine in neutral, or I ease the sheets, or I go into the wind, how far will my boat drift? Of course, it depends on the wind and the condition, but I'm talking about if your boat is heavy and big and has a certain shape of a hull, maybe it will drift further away and will be harder to stop if it was a lighter boat with a different type of hull. You need to feel and understand your own boat momentum. Now, once you understood these two concepts, visualization will come easier. You still need to practice seeing with your eyes, feeling with your senses, and improving your imagination skills. I'm going to take you back to a man overboard example, because every time there's a man overboard, the visualization kicks the hardest for me, because I take a moment to look around me. I look at the man overboard, where I am, where the wind is, and I almost kind of imagine it from a drone view, like in the books where you see the boat and you see the man overboard and you see the red lines and you know where you need to go. This is what I'm attempting to do, and while I'm doing it, I'm also looking at my trajectory and fixing accordingly. This is why understanding your trajectory is so important, because you can fix yourself according to the line. If I look at the man overboard and I see that I'm drifting, I'm like, oh shit, I need to go a little bit more. And this is where the visualization really helps you to nail your stuff. Now, visualization will require imagination, planning almost a map-like thing in your head. What I also like to say to students who struggle with this a little bit is maybe visualize and think of it from a different point of view. Maybe put yourself not on the boat, but put yourself on the man overboard, and then you can see where the wind is and you can find your line of approach, or you can see the waves differently. I don't know, maybe this will help you visualize stuff better when you're doing a man overboard. And in my other video right here, I explain how I find the wind by using my senses, using my ears. Okay, let's recap. We had 3 stages in this lesson. We had understanding angles, we had trajectory and momentum, that 2 of them lead to visualization. Now, to practice understanding angle, you can do the angle game. Go out there, find some points of reference, try to estimate what angle you need to do to turn to them, and then double check with your compass. To practice trajectory and momentum, go out there and find a mooring ball in an open area and start practicing all sorts of weird approaches to really understand your trajectory, like go in reverse, keep the rudder in one position, and visualize where you're going to end up and see if you're actually ending up where you visualized. With momentum, you can play the neutral game, so you can just go out and try to give a lot of power on the engine, see with your current speed, then put it in neutral and try to estimate where the boat is going to stop. Pro tip, you can also combine these two exercises and try to do mooring ball approaches with your stern or with your bow by giving a lot of power, putting in neutral, and then not touching the engine anymore. Call it, you touch it, you went for it. Nasata, nagata nasata. You pressed one time and that's it. Try to end up close as possible to the mooring ball. And practicing visualization is everything I've said before. It's just going out there and practicing docking, practicing man overboard, mooring ball approaches. But this time when you practice, keep it in your head that you do need to visualize and use your imaginations a little bit more. And then you can work on it and practice it and feel the ocean that you're cruising at and feel the boat that you're cruising at and get better and better and better. And as always, thank you for watching. If you want to support this channel, book a sailing course with me or join me in one of my adventures. You can also book a boat or use my recommendations for your next sailing vacation. Now stay tuned because I am going to break down sailing and I'm going to upload a lot more of this content. Like and share, follow me on my socials, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Bye bye.